Josh from Greenhead Waterfowl here with another how-to on how to clean and dismantle and put back together your shotgun. I hunt with pumps. For instance, I have the Remmington 870, very original, almost brand new, got it over the summer. Used it a couple times. I technically don't have the money to buy one of those very expensive automatics, so I choose to hunt with the pump. Take it back to the old days. I have the Rem oil wipes. I love these on those little hunts that I use. Keep these in my bag. When I'm done, I just wipe the gun down, no rust. Because guys know, once that water hits your gun, by the end of the day, your gun's going to look rusted. And it's an awful looking sight, let me tell you. You'll also need toothbrush for preference, hammer to get those pins out, and to get those pins out, I use a punch. Rem oil, and I also have the 12 and 20 gauge shotgun Hops number 9 cleaner. Before you do anything, taking it apart, you always want to make sure that your gun is unloaded in the chamber as well as in the magazine. First, you start off by unscrewing the plug cap, and that plug cap's going to come out of there like Jack in a Box, so you want to make sure that you're holding on to it. Once you get that off, we can start by taking out the pins. There's one pin right here and a second pin right by the trigger assembly. Easily go and tap those out. You want to do this nice and gently. You don't want to damage the gun. Now once you get those pins out, set them off to the side. This one's a little finicky. There we go. Now once you have the pins out, you can gently pull on the trigger assembly. The trigger assembly comes right out, just like that. Now when you take the bolt off, right inside here, you push down on this lever and the bolt comes right out. Now be careful that you don't do what I just did. Take this, set that aside, set the bolt aside. Now we can begin to clean the inside of our barrel. Now that you have the gun completely taken apart and all the parts set aside, we can begin cleaning. I take some Q-tips and the gun oil, and I wet the Q-tip, the tip of the Q-tip a little bit. Make sure you get the whole Q-tip. And I'll just start by cleaning the inside of it. You wipe off all that sand and all that dirt and all that gunpowder that gets caked up inside your gun. All this stuff can be factors for your gun jamming when you're out in the hunt, and that is not fun to happen. Had that happen before. Had the gun freeze up on me, and it was not fun. Couldn't hunt the rest of the day. It's just better off going home. Now we're going to reassemble the gun. First, you start by taking the slide, slide it on about halfway. Make sure that these two ends are still sticking out. Now you have the slide on, you can begin by putting the bolt back together. Now the bolt, the bottom piece has these notches that fit right onto the slide, and the bolt slides right back on. Make sure everything's lined up correct. Now you want to push in on those shell stoppers. You got to push in a little hard, and the bolt should slide right back in. Now that you have the bolt in place, you want it to be about this far out. We could begin to put the trigger assembly back in. You want to start by putting the front in first, And then the back, it should just sit right back into place. And now that you have the trigger assembly set back into place, we can begin by hand working in the pins. Now, what you might want to do is break out the hammer again and gently tap them in. Make sure that you have no holes, even on both sides, and your bolt should work just as it should. Now, we can slide the bolt open, the barrel back on, and for you waterfowl hunters during the season, the dreaded plug. And so that thing doesn't come out like so your plug doesn't come out like a jack-in-a-box and fly across your room as it just did me. Make sure that you have the end of your cap on it, slide it in, and begin to screw down. Make sure nice and tight, barrel's all good, down the sight good, and you're ready to shoot. There you go. Clean, perfect, working Remington 870. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you later with another how-to.